Listen, man, this is the problem. Is it wear a mask, or now you sit in your damn house and let the state and the government tell you can't go, you can't take your kids out, can't have birthday parties, can't have weddings. This summer is gonna be this is gonna be worse than last summer. Here, it's over. It ain't no getting right now. It's here. This is what we in. This is March. Ain't no way to get it back together. So we already know where we heading. You know it's though when you got Dr. Fauci, who is Donald Trump's arch nemesis, basically pleading with Donald Trump for help. Please tell them put on the mask, right? There'll be a big help for us if Donald Trump can tell his supporters to please wear a mask, right? You got Dr. Fauci who can't stand Donald Trump, or Donald Trump who can't stand Dr. Fauci. You know these two people don't get along and like each other, and Dr. Fauci has put his pride aside and is basically pleading with the former president to tell your jackass supporters to wear a mask. If you don't want to get the vaccine, wear a mask. If you don't want to wear a mask, go take your chances with the vaccine, jackass. But what you don't have the option to do is make everybody else suffer, because if you a Trump supporter and you a no masker, that's what you're doing. Don't even realize it. You so ignorant, and you so dumb, and you so stupid. You don't even realize that you causing your own suffering. So I know you ain't gonna realize that you're causing my suffering and my children's suffering, because you don't even realize you causing your own suffering. You keep talking about freedom. What freedom you got if they lock the goddamn country down again and you can't go to work and you lose your business and you gotta stick in the house? What freedom you got? And they not gonna give you no support or help. You're going to be on a bread line. You're going to be on one of them can lines with the rest of them goddamn people looking stupid. Someone's like, I never had to do this before. I never had to be on public assistance before. I'm so ashamed. This ain't no freedom. Not wearing a mask, not following the mitigations to at least stop spreading. I'm not telling you to get a vaccine. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not even telling you to wear a mask. But what I am going to tell you is not doing certain things is going to have consequences. Now, is the risk worth the reward when it comes to a mask? Because they just saying wear the mask when you're out in public. Take off when you're in your car, when you with your girl, when you with your kids. Get your kids sick. Go to the hospital and watch them wither away. I don't give a Do what you want to do with your own family. When you're out in public, wear the mask. Let's avoid the lockdown by all costs. The mask is not what I'm trying to avoid. The shot is not even the vaccine is not what I'm trying to avoid. Nothing is more important to avoid than another lockdown to me. Spending another year away from people, away from touching people. You know what I'm saying? Away from intimacy, away from friends, away from family. Nothing is more important to me than to not have to do that. That's freedom. Not wearing the mask is literally jeopardizing all of our freedoms and taking it away, because they're using that as the excuse to tell us we can't be free. So this is why I say people who support Trump and that are in that Republican Party are so low IQ and just stupid. A mask is not what makes you free or not free. It's like I say, again, you don't go into your car and to drive with your seatbelt on because you can't get pulled over and say, it's my freedom not to have a baby car seat in the back that's strapped in. It's my freedom to ride and drive around without my seatbelt. And that's your own body. You're only supposed to wear a seatbelt because you're going to protect yourself. You can have a car accident in your car and not wear your seatbelt. You die. It's only affecting you and your body. Nobody complains about wearing a seatbelt. You get in your goddamn car, put on your seatbelt. Because if you get pulled over, you're going to be fined and you're breaking the law. You follow the seatbelt rule. You don't not wear your seatbelt and say, I got my freedom. You can't make me wear a seatbelt. I don't have to follow the rules. I have the freedom to not wear a seatbelt. I have the freedom to die in this car accident. No, you put on your seatbelt. So why you don't put on your mask? What's the difference? Can somebody please explain the difference to me? What's the difference between a mask mandate and a seatbelt mandate for you and me? What's the difference between a car seat mandate where you got to put a car, if you put your baby in a car without a seatbelt, without a car seat, and you get pulled over, you could lose your child. That's child endangerment. You got to put your baby in a car seat. What's the freedom at? What's the difference between having to put a mask on your child or putting your child in a car seat? Because that's what the government, everybody decided that's safe, and that's what we should do as a majority. That's what you do. You don't goddamn say, well, I'm not putting my baby in a car seat and I'm not wearing a seatbelt because I ain't got freedom and I'm American. Your dumb ass will go to damn jail and you losing your kids, you jackass. You don't ride around and text and drive. If you see a police officer, even if you do it, you know better to. You put that down because you're breaking the law. You don't say, well, I could just text and drive and mow over as many people as I want and I could text and drive if I want because I got freedom. You can't tell me not to do this. No, man, this is the reason people make mandates and laws, man. So the same way your dumb ass will have to wear your seatbelt because your state, your federal government told you have to. The same way you have to go buy the correct car seat when you bring your baby. You can't even bring your baby out the hospital, you punk ass. Why you don't go tell the hospital and the doctor when your baby's born that you ain't getting no damn car seat? They won't even let you drive home with your baby if you ain't got a car seat out the hospital. Where's your freedom? So what's the difference between putting your child in the car seat and putting a mask on your child? I would say the car seat is way more uncomfortable. Way more uncomfortable. You ever been strapped into it, feel like you're strapped into a straitjacket? Having to strap a child in tight in the car seat is way more comfortable than just putting a mask on his face for a few minutes, and then when you leave out a store, you leave out of a area where you're not going to be able to social distance, you can take it off of him. When you going on long-ass 8-hour, 9-hour, 12-hour drives, and you got the baby strapped in that goddamn car seat for 6-7 hours at a time, where's your freedom then? There's no difference from putting a mask on your kid than having to put your kid in the car seat. There's no difference from putting a mask on your dumbass face than you having to put on your seatbelt. Okay? So I'm at this point, if you still one of them people that's with this, I don't have to wear a mask because I'm an American and I'm free, but you can't connect that to the dots of, well, you can't text and drive, you can't drive without a seatbelt. You got freedom, so you don't have to let your child wear a mask. But where's your freedom at that you got to put your child in the car seat? Right. And if your child is not an infant or under a certain height, a certain age, you got to put them in a booster seat, because if you get pulled over and your child is not in a booster seat after the car seat, you can lose your child. They will take your child from you. Get caught 2 or 3 times with riding around with your child unstrapped in and get those fines and see what happened to you. DSS will be up your ass. So where's your freedom at? It ain't about freedom. This is about logic. This is about sanity. This is about the difference between that and stupidity. These motherfuckers, they are so dumb. Anybody who is a Trump supporter, you so dumb. And anybody who's a non-masker and a non-vacciner, when you don't have the proper information, you don't even know why you don't want a vaccine. You don't want a vaccine because the other Trump people don't want a vaccine. You just a follower. You just a sheep. You just a drone. If we have to give another lockdown, you a piece of shit. You making us suffer. You're making yourself suffer. You're making your own children suffer. You're a crime against humanity. Put on your mask, man. Same way you put on your seatbelt. Put a mask on your kids for the time being. The same way you put your kids in a booster car seat and put them in a damn seatbelt. It ain't always been like that. We ain't always had to wear seat. People just know now, okay, in this situation in life, situational is a situational thing. Okay, we driving, we on the road. In this situation, we have to wear a seatbelt and car seat. When I'm not driving and I'm not on the road, there's no need for a seatbelt and car seat. Situational. When I'm in the store, when I can't social distance, follow the mitigation measures as far as social distance, staying apart, and I go in a public place, I gotta wear a mask. When I'm not in this situation, I don't have to wear a mask. It's the same difference. How the hell would you have to wear put your kid in the car seat to put on a seatbelt if you're not in the car on the road driving? You wouldn't. That's not the law. That's not the mandate. That's not the mitigation. It's the same way with the mask. You wear that in a certain situation. The same way you wear a seatbelt in the situation of driving. You wear a mask in the situation of when you in public and can't social distance. And when you step out your car, you take off your seatbelt and you take your kid out the car seat. And when you step out of the public situation to where you're able to social distance and get where you need to be, you take off your mask. What's the difference between? Can somebody logically tell me to I hope that Trump supporters see this, share it out. What's the difference? If I don't see you protesting the seatbelt or booster seat in the car seat, and you can understand the science and the logic behind the safety of doing that, of putting your kid in a car seat and understanding why you need to put your kid in the car seat, because it reduces the likelihood of death, because it reduces the likelihood of tragedy, then why can't you comprehend of putting a mask on your face? You can comprehend the seatbelt and the baby booster seat in the car seat scenario. Why can't you comprehend the mask scenario? It's the same difference. Some people are willfully stupid and ignorant. Not even willfully ignorant, because if you're willfully ignorant, you're stupid. You're dumb, right? If you're willfully ignorant, that takes you into the realm of stupidity, to be willfully ignorant. It's the same difference. It's no different from putting a mask on you and your kids than putting a seatbelt on you and your kids. It's mandated. We all the majority of a group of society has agreed this is what needs to be done, so we all do it, whether we agree with it or not. Whether I agree, I don't like wearing. You remember when the first came out? I remember when it wasn't really they wasn't really locking down on seatbelts like that back in the day. You get wear your seatbelt or not. We all drive laid back, but everybody know the first thing you do now. We've all been trained and prone that you get in that car, you put that seatbelt on. I remember, I'm old enough to remember a time where it was real lackadaisical. You didn't really have to wear a seatbelt like that. It wasn't in your mind until I remember when they started pulling everybody over, that click of the ticket. hit. Remember clicking the ticket? That's what really changed the game. Nobody used to really wear the seatbelt till they really locked down on the clicking the ticket. Then everybody just followed along. It was normal. Now everybody gets in the car and the first thing you do is lock your seatbelt in. You don't even think about it no more. But when it first started, it was the same thing. People didn't want to wear the seatbelt. It was uncomfortable. It made you look uncool. You wanted to lean back. You wanted to be a certain pose. And, you wanted to, especially if you was black, we all, we look cool when we drive. Seatbelt kind of cramped your style. But after them start doing that clicking the ticket enough, and if we start getting fined enough, everybody just put your seatbelt on. I remember when it changed over. My pops and people I drove when I was younger growing up, and it turned into nobody ever said put your seatbelt on. And then it turned in, as soon as you get in the car, make sure you got your seatbelt on. I remember also going through the stage where, oh man, I don't want to wear my seatbelt. I remember all that. Now I'm doing it to my kids. When they get in, my daughter get it, put your seatbelt on. And she don't even think twice. I don't even have to do that, what I'm saying, because she just puts it on. But I can remember when it first started, and I didn't used to like to wear a seatbelt. Nobody did. But we figured out, and the data showed it was safe, and that's what we do. We don't even think about it. I don't say, hey, I gotta put this here. This is my freedom. It was my right not to wear one. That's your body again. That's you. If you don't wear one, the only thing that's gonna really hurt and causes death is for you. So the reason they make you wear a seatbelt is because it's gonna give you added protection if you was to get in a fatal car accident, and they could potentially only save your life. You wearing a seatbelt can't save my life. You wearing a seatbelt can't save your children's life in the back seat. You wearing a seatbelt can't save the passenger sitting beside you life. You wearing a seatbelt only affects you and your life, and they mandate it for you, even though it's not going to affect nobody else. The only person that's going to be take a loss if something tragic happens and the seatbelt could have saved your life and you don't have it on is you. It only affects you. It don't affect your kids, your family, nobody else, in or outside of the car. Only the person not wearing it, and they make you wear it anyway. So why not say, hey, this is me, my body, this is my life, these are my bones, these are my legs, I want to be a paraplegic, I have the right not to wear a seatbelt. No, you don't say that, because if you get pulled over, you ain't got on no seatbelt, you take your ass to court, and you got to pay the fine. You got to pay the piper. So again, there is no damn difference between wearing a seatbelt and wearing a mask. If you cannot see the similarities, it's only because you're stupid and you lack intelligence, and you shouldn't even be a part of the voting block of America. I always say people who are mentally unstable should not have a right to participate in our system that makes laws for the rest of us that we have to follow. Because if you have a mental health condition that is going to affect your judgment, have a say in any type of law or legislation that's going to affect the rest of us that are sane. Because literally that'd be letting the insane control the sane. And this is illogical. This is insane. If you cannot see the equivalence of wearing a seatbelt, putting your kids in the boosted car seat because you know you have to do it because that's the law. Again, if you don't put your kids in the car and boost the seat, it don't affect my kid and nobody else. It don't affect the person in the other vehicle. It only affects your kid. Your kid will die. Your kid is in harm's way because of your dumbass actions. Right, if you had see somebody in a car wreck and they didn't have no kid, they had an infant in the car, and they didn't have an infant in the car seat, you would be shocked and appalled. You blame first. You're gonna blame the person that was driving, or the father or the mother. Why didn't you put them in the car seat? Think about it. If you're a grandmother or a mother yourself, and you find out somebody dies and a baby dies in the car, and they wind up not having, you literally, whether you're a Republican or Democrat, you're gonna say, why wasn't the baby in a car seat? You're an unfit person. If you're a Republican, it don't matter. If somebody in your family killed your niece, your nephew, or your son, and you had a baby and you trusted it with them, and they went in and they had the car seats in the one side, but decided to just lay your baby in the back seat. They didn't put them in the car seat because they're right. You can't make me put the baby in the car seat. Right? You would say that person needs to lose their child. This person's riding around the neighborhood, the city. This person's riding around town every day of the week, and the car seat is sitting in the trunk, and he has his 2-month-old just sprawled across the back seat, bouncing the around, because he's talking about this is his God-given right, and can't nobody make him do. You can't make me do. You can't make me put no seatbelt on my kids. Come on, man. My point is, I don't have to keep saying this over and over, man. You can see that you're a jackass. You sitting in a car with your seatbelt on, but protesting wearing a mask. You're an idiot, stupid, sitting in his car with a goddamn seatbelt on because it's mandatory by the government because he told you got to do it, but you're going to sit here protest wearing a goddamn mask because the government telling you to do it. If you got a car and you ever get in your car and you ever put on a seatbelt, you're a fucking buffoon if you don't want to wear a mask. Got me hot, man, because I'm telling you, man, we got to go through a 4th lockdown. Man, I'm disgusted. At this point, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know if I could even handle the 4th lockdown. I don't know if I jeopardizing me and my damn life.